Okay, number 11. Write the number of edges of the cuboid. Edges are the lines. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12 edges there for A. Calculate the volume. So the volume is the length times the width times the height. So we've got the 10 times the 4 times the 5. 10 times 4 is 40. And times by 5 gives you 200. Now you must put down centimetres cubed, whatever these units are here, with a cubed on for volume. That's your mark, then your third mark there. Question 12, bit of a stinker. Barbara goes on holiday to Prague. The currency in Prague is the koruna, or korona. This graph can be used to convert between pounds and korona. The exchange rate is £1 to 30 korona. Barbara bought some things in London and she saw the same things in sale in Prague. The table shows the cost in pounds and the cost in korona. Barbara thinks the total cost of these was more in London than in Prague. Is she correct? Right, well, step 1. Let's find out what London cost us. So, London, we've got 15 plus your 34 and then plus your 26. That's 10, that's 15 there. Carrying your 1, 6, 7. So £75. Now, Prague is the one you've got to work out a bit tougher here. So Prague, what we've got to do first of all is convert from these values here. Now the easy way to do that, well, there's two ways. One, you could read off the graph, but to be honest, the graph I'm not a big fan of because it's hard to be as accurate as you want to be. I actually look at the conversion rate that was explained in the question, and the conversion rate that we were looking at here is that £1 equals 30 korona. So if we've got £1 is 30 korona, then what we're going to do is divide all these numbers here by 30. So if I take my 450 and divide it by 30, in effect I can take my noughts off, and that then gives me £15. 750 divided by 30, again the noughts can disappear. 75 into 3, again if you're not sure, little division up top. 3's into 7 go 2, 3's into 15 go 5, so that's £25. And then we've got 810 into 30. Again, this time it's 75, it's 2 more 3's on top, so it's going to be £27. If we then add these values up, then that gives us 17, and then that's 5, 6, that's £67. So, total cost of these things was more in London. Is she correct? Yes. By, and then how many pounds, because it's I think it's a star question. I'll just double check. Yep, it's a star question, so it wants a nice reason at the end of it. Was it cheap? Was she agreed? Was it more in London? Yes, it was more by £8. The other way of doing that is you could have converted your Londons by times them all by 30, but that I think would be hard work, and then you'd be looking at the korona amounts. So personally I'd do it by dividing by 30. Or you can use a graph, but just be careful with the accuracy on that. Question 13. Comp parts and Z parts both sell memory sticks. So we've got a memory stick information about both of them. £4 each, one free stick bought for every 10, and then you've got 35 for a box of 10. There are 150 students in year 10, so let's just write down some information. So we've got students there, and they're in year 10. Teacher needs to buy a memory stick for each student. At which of the shops should he buy the memory sticks? You must show all you're working. So, personally, cut in half. Step 1, memory sticks, £4 each there. So what you're actually going to get is 11 sticks, because you get one free for every 10, for £40. So, because you bought 10 of them, that'd be 40 quid there. We need to get 150. So if we go up in 11s, so if we times that by 10 to start with, so 110 sticks would then be £400. Keep adding 11s on, well, another 33 on top of that. So add 3 lots of that onto it is £520, and we need another 7 sticks and they're £4 each, so 4 times 7 is £28. So for this shop, 150 sticks comes to a grand total of £548. Now the other one's easy to work out. Box of 10 sticks, 35 quid, so what we've got to do is £35, and we need to times that by 15. So personally I'd split it into two bits. I'd times it by 10, which gives you 350, and then I'd half that to give you 5 value as well, so that'd be £175. Put them both together, and that gives you £525. So which shop should you buy? Z parts are cheaper. Buy, and then work out your difference, £23. Nice split down here, so you split it in two, and then you have your little sort of conclusion bit at the bottom. Question 14 is a graph question. So what we have here is a graph that is y equals 2x plus 3. Values from x from minus 3 to 1, which is a bit hard work to be honest. I'll tell you why in a second, because you've got more minuses than anything else. So minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0 and 1, and there's your y. So what I personally do is start with your 0. Now what this means is we take our x coordinate, we times it by 2, and then we add 3 to it, and that will give us what our y coordinate is. So if I take our x, which is 0, times it by 2, which is still 0, add 3, which is 3. 1 times 2 is 2, add 3, 5. Then we go minus 1. Minus 1 times 2 is minus 2. If you then add 3 to that, you get 1. Now you can then notice a pattern of going down by 2's, so you can just take 2 off each time. And again, I check this number, minus 3 into that, minus 3 times 2 is minus 6, add 3 on is minus 3. We then plot the values on there, so minus 3, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, minus 1, 1, 0, 3, and 1, 5. And then we draw a straight line through all the points here. And that's job done. So that's then the line drawn perfectly for that graph. Question 15. Again, numerous methods have been taught. I've got my own preference, so I'm going to put that one down. But again, if you're getting this right with your method, just stick with your method. The one I prefer is Napier's bone, so I'll draw a 3x2 grid. And a tricky bit I'm going to take my time on is making sure these diagonals perfectly go through the corners. So this is the one I'm perfectly a fan of because it's quite compressed. So we've got 2 times 2, which is 4. So I'm just going to change the colour so it sticks out a bit. So we've got a 0 there and a 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 4 is 12. Going down in diagonals now. 8, 4, 0 and 6 is 10. So you put a 0 in there, carry 1 to next. 8 and 2 is 10. 1 and 1 is then makes it 12. 1, 1 and 6 is 8. So then we get 8,208 as your answer.